Hello, and welcome to a new season of the Going Green and Going Smart program. My name is Edgar Olivo, and I am so glad you are joining us today. We're going to have a great conversation about how electric vehicles will revolutionize transportation needs for small businesses. Exciting times are approaching ahead as Arizona becomes a national leader in electric vehicle manufacturing. Electric vehicles, or EVs, contribute to cleaner air for our state. Wherever you are in your search for an electric vehicle, or as someone who already owns an alternative fuel vehicle, this expert session will share information about EVs and what makes Arizona a great place for small businesses to drive electric. We will discuss charging infrastructure and the Take Charge AZ program, which provides EV charging equipment to businesses at almost no cost. Our great lineup of sustainability expert panelists come from diverse backgrounds, and they will share their perspective on how small businesses can make a difference. Also, stick around for our special presentation at the end of today's program to learn more about the Take Charge AZ program and how you can get started. You don't want to miss that. If this is your first time tuning in, I'd like to give you a special welcome. These expert sessions are designed to help you expand your Going Green efforts and complement our on-demand certificate program. If you haven't explored the certificate course, I'll share more details at the end of today's expert session. Our mission is to help small businesses across the state of Arizona save energy, save money, and attract business with resources and online training we created for you at no cost in the Going Green and Going Smart program. We know sustainability has reached a tipping point, and it is important to your customers and the planet we live in. This program will provide you with important skills to help you achieve your own goals and beyond. So let's get started. I'd like to start with a simple question for you. How will EVs revolutionize the transportation needs of small businesses today? Just about everyone has felt a pinch at the gas pump over the last few months, and electric vehicles are proven to be a wiser investment option for small business owners. Electric vehicles contribute to cleaner air, reduce transportation costs, and lower operating costs compared to diesel and petrol equivalents. Transitioning to electric vehicles can be a savvy move for small businesses. Charging station infrastructure is currently being developed, and it appears a full adoption of electric vehicles is around the corner. With average gas prices going up and electric vehicle prices coming down, small business owners can also take advantage of this new business opportunity by installing charging stations in their parking spaces as more vehicle owners opt to go electric. In addition, running a more energy efficient vehicle can also help a business reduce its carbon footprint and, by doing so, boost its environment and corporate responsibility reputation. Many statewide organizations are also conducting studies that illustrate how electric vehicles will improve the quality of air and economy. There are also several financial incentives for businesses which operate electric vehicles, including tax and duty exemptions. According to a study made by the Southwest Energy Efficiency Project, there are many benefits to take note of. If you are a small business owner interested in having a commercial electric fleet, consider these 4 ways electric vehicles will revolutionize transportation needs for small businesses all across the state. Greater efficiency. Compared to gasoline-powered internal combustion engines, electric vehicles can travel the same distance using approximately 30% less energy. Electric vehicles convert over 77% of the electrical energy from the grid to power at the wheels. Conventional gasoline vehicles only convert about 12 to 30% of the energy stored in gasoline to power at the wheels. Locally produced energy source. Essentially, all the petroleum and refined gasoline used in Arizona is imported, while electricity is produced almost entirely within the state. Think about this. APS serves more than 1.3 million homes and businesses in 11 of Arizona's 15 counties and is a leader in delivering affordable, clean, and reliable energy in the Southwest. The company has committed to serving customers with 100% clean power by 2050. As owner and operator of Palo Verde Generating Station, the nation's largest producer of carbon-free electricity, and with one of the country's most substantial renewable energy portfolios, APS's current energy mix is 50% clean and local. Reduced emissions. EVs have the potential to reduce greatly harmful tailpipe emissions compared to gasoline-powered vehicles. EVs emit no tailpipe pollutants, although the power plant producing the electricity may emit them. Electricity from nuclear, hydro, solar, and wind-powered plants cause no air pollution. Reduce fueling costs. Because of their higher efficiency and the low cost of electricity compared to gasoline per unit of energy, Electric vehicles can travel the same distance as typical conventional vehicle at the cost equivalent of $1.20 per gallon. As the energy environmental benefits of electric vehicles continue to increase, older power plants will become retired and additional natural gas and renewable generation will be constructed. The true cost of the harmful effects of gasoline on our natural environment and quality of air, as well as the geopolitical forces that affect the prices, will convince many small business owners to make a greener choice. Supporting widespread adoption of the electric vehicles is an important strategy for addressing a cleaner and greener economy. Now, let's jump over to our next segment and meet our expert panelists. As you just learned, electric vehicles have many benefits. This next session, we'll discuss what needs to happen for our small business owners to adopt electric vehicles completely in Arizona and how you can benefit from the electric vehicle transformation happening in our state. Make sure to grab your notes. We're going to have a great conversation. Okay, let's meet our expert panel. Jason Smith is an energy innovation program consultant on the product development and strategy team in APS's Customer Grid Solutions Group. Jason develops programs and initiatives focused on electric vehicles, charging infrastructure, and rates, while guiding company strategy around transportation electrification. In this role, Jason works on transportation electrification policy at the state regulatory and legislative levels and engages with a variety of stakeholders, both locally and nationally, to drive increased transportation electrification and help reach APS's clean energy goals. Jason, it's great to have you on the program. Welcome to the Going Green and Going Smart expert session. Zack is a construction engineer and president of Southwest Electric Vehicles. Southwest Electric Vehicles is an electric vehicle dealership serving Arizona and beyond by offering the best in new and pre-owned electric vehicles. Zack operates, manages, and coordinates business sales and operations for commercial and recreational vehicles, UTVs, electric bikes, solar light towers, and generators. Welcome to the program, Zack. All right, welcome to the Going Green and Going Smart program, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. So we've got a lot to discuss today. You know, I'm very excited about the electrical vehicle transformation that's happening, considering all of the things that are happening around the conversation of gas prices and you know, just the cost constraints that small business owners are facing. But before we get into that conversation, I really want to ask everybody, and this is a question that I ask everyone on our expert panels: what does sustainability mean to you? This program really focuses on giving the tools to small business owners to learn how to go green. But let's start with you, Jason. Welcome to the program. What does sustainability mean to you?
Yeah, great to be here. Great, thanks for having me. And great question. This is something that you think about sustainability, and everyone has the general sense of it, but you don't really think about what it means to you until someone asks you that pointed question. So appreciate it. To me, it really means being able to have a continued growth and development of our modern world, but doing so in a way that really protects the planet and allows it to thrive. So it's not about stopping, economic development in our modern world, but making sure that we don't do that on the back of the planet in a way that causes irreparable harm.
That's a great perspective. And Zack, welcome back to the program. You've been providing some expertise to us for a while now. So tell us, what does sustainability mean to you from your perspective?
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if I'm going to be as articulate as Jason, but I guess just simplistically wise, sustainability to me is the concept of inputs and outputs. It's giving back what you've taken, I suppose. Don't take more than you need. Life cycle from extraction to reassertion. Maintaining a life and worldly cycle that, although may create deficits, creates attributes in the same aspect. I mean, it may sound very vague, but it's basically just continuing an appropriate life cycle where you're not disruptive and it's manageable. It's sustainable.
And sustainable. I mean, a lot of folks, I guess, as I encounter small business owners who think about sustainability, they think of it as a linear transaction when really it's a circular kind of holistic perspective where you're looking at all those components. And I really appreciate your perspective. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the conversation on electric vehicles, because that's why we're here. And, I'm curious, in Arizona, I know we've been making a lot of buzz with all of the electric manufacturing that's happening, considering Zack is one of those leaders in the industry. But Jason, from your perspective, what needs to happen for small business owners to adopt electric vehicles completely in Arizona? I know that's kind of a big question, but tell us from your perspective, what needs to happen?
Completely. It's a great goal. There's a number of things. Obviously, no single answer. First and foremost, I think you need more of those vehicle options. Those, crossovers, SUVs, trucks that customers, especially small business customers, are really looking for. Not those that were, first and foremost in terms of automakers putting out there for EVs. We're seeing about 30 new vehicles coming onto the market this year, and over 75% of those are actually in that crossover truck and SUV category that customers are really asking for. So glad to see automakers are doing that. That'll be a big component as well.
Yeah.
That's a great
Having more charging access is also really important. We see that about 80% or more of charging is done at home, or in the case of the business at the depot or the commercial site there. So getting charging infrastructure there is extremely important. But it's also important to get it out in the public places as well. You're fighting over 100 years of human psychology here, where on every street corner you could go out and get refueled no matter where you are, and really didn't have that range anxiety. And so getting charging infrastructure out there where folks are, spending some time, whether it's at a restaurant or at a Home Depot or what have you, there is really important. There's an educational component as well, especially on when to charge, so that customers, especially small business owners, are seeing the greatest savings possible. And then the last thing I'll just add is to increase that adoption completely is just to get butts and seats. I challenge anyone to go on a test drive with someone for their first EV drive and not see them have that huge smile on their face. They're quick, they're fun, they're quiet, they're smooth, just a very different driving experience, but in a good way.
Yeah, that's interesting. Zach, what are your thoughts around this question?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that was well said too. I mean, it was very open, encompassed quite a lot of angles. And of course, I'm biased, of what of course needs to happen. But I think in all honesty, one of the biggest aspects is we need the charging infrastructure. And, not only to maintain, but also sustain as we grow as a city and a population. We obviously have an influx of new arrivals that are coming every day, which is pretty impressive, but we're already experiencing, extreme pricing spikes in housing market. And so things like a supply and demand issue. So as we grow as a city, and from the small business aspects, if I am to embrace, the electric vehicles, which I obviously have, I want to make sure the infrastructure is there. And for me to really be able to sell it to others, I think that's vitally important. Of course, one of the big aspects is especially now more than ever is fuel savings. And so as a small business, whether you're running errands or you're, a delivery type of aspect or transportation, you need to make it make sense. So did combustible make sense prior, or does electric now? So just having, a greater opportunity of product line that can fit the needs is vitally important too. Just like Jason alluded to, there's.
Yeah. Oh, Zach, we got you on mute for a second.
Whoops, I nicked it with my finger.
It's all right. Hey, those things happen. You were saying that Jason alluded to a point.
Yeah, I think what I said, I don't recap last, but just all the different vehicle selections that are coming out to fit different needs. So contingent on what kind of business, whether small or large, if there's a vehicle to fit that need, that's important. But then for the business owner to make sure that, the cost savings are really implemented. And I think it's neat the subsidies programs that governments are putting forth to maybe offset that initially wise, because anytime you're changing out a fleet or getting into something new, there's a capital investment. And so every business owner needs to be cognizant of that. But
Right. And, just to keep on this topic, on the subject, Jason, where are we in Arizona when it comes to the charging infrastructure? Are we almost there? Are we making progress? How far do you see that vision of, infrastructure being, as accessible as possible?
Yeah, absolutely. We're not there yet. I think that's not a secret to anyone, but we are making progress. We're seeing a lot of adoption here in Arizona, and a lot of that comes with folks installing infrastructure to charge either at their house or place of business, which is great. We're seeing a lot of third parties coming into our territory and our state to put charging infrastructure in to help fill some of those gaps in terms of public charging as well, and help the public feel more comfortable with that issue of range anxiety. At APS, we have a number of programs where we're also trying to help with this challenge of getting infrastructure out there. We have both a level 2 program called Take Charge Arizona, where commercial customers as well as municipalities, nonprofits, multi-unit dwellings can take advantage of free level 2 charging infrastructure, as well as a DC fast charger program where we're trying to help fill those highway corridor gaps to connect more urban and more rural areas, and let folks with EVs feel more comfortable taking those longer road trips, whether day trips, weekend trips, those kind of things, out into our beautiful state.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And Zach, you sell electric vehicles. What are some of the responses you're getting from folks who purchase electric vehicles from you?
So just for point of reference, the vehicles that we provide are more on the recreational, commercial, industrial side, and they're more of a low-speed vehicle and off-road. So we're not providing an on-highway, not your Teslas or Lucid necessarily. But the responses, just to generalize, have been great. And especially we live in Phoenix area. We're surrounded by master planned communities. Logistically wise, there's a lot of areas where people don't need to go on high-speed highways and intersect whatever it may be, and they can utilize electric vehicles for transportation and deliveries and just many different aspects. So the response has been very good. And a lot of communities also, they're not allowing combustible engines either. And that's because of noise is one aspect, but then obviously just your pollution side of it too. So the response has been really good. And Phoenix is in a very ideal position in the United States and stuff, not only as a city, but location wise for electric vehicles in general.
Right. And, we're talking now, alluding to the mountains ahead. What are the challenges in the electric vehicle industry? And we'll start with Jason. I know you're working with our legislators and informing them on the benefits of going greener in this area. What are some of the challenges you're experiencing?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of them. First and foremost is education. Folks at APS and stakeholders that we talk to, either work on EV issues day in and day out, or at least, pretty familiar with them. And I think we have to kind of step back and recognize that that's not necessarily the case with the general public. This is still a very new technology to a lot of folks. I was at a conference a little while ago where I heard someone say, "I'll never get an EV because if you get in an accident, you get electrocuted."
Oh my goodness.
I'm here to tell you
that's not
actually accurate. That will not happen. But I think it's just a good example of some of the educational hurdles that we have to get over to help folks understand, what's an EV? How is it different than my current internal combustion engine car? What are the benefits? How is it going to help me? Those kind of things. So that's important. Cost is also an issue. EVs currently have a higher upfront cost. In the next couple of years, it's looking like they'll be, cost parity, which is great. And total cost of ownership, time and time again, many studies have shown that the total cost of ownership of an electric vehicle compared to a comparable internal combustion engine vehicle is a lot lower. You're saving on fuel, you're saving on maintenance, those kind of things, which is great. But a lot of customers, whether they're residential or small business owners, aren't necessarily able to take advantage of that longer time horizon and still have that higher upfront cost to deal with. So that's a challenge. And then just from the utility perspective, there's the challenge of how are we going to manage all these new EVs in our service territory. There's the distribution grid challenge of ensuring that all these EVs driving around are able to plug in and get electricity wherever they are in our service territory. And there's also the issue of generation and supply. So the fuel here is not gasoline, it's electricity, it's what we provide. And so with that EV adoption curve, looking like a hockey stick, like we've all seen, that's a lot more electrons that need to be flowing onto the grid. And so these are things that we're planning for. We have long-term planning horizons here, and we're looking at what's going on in terms of industry trends with adoption and bigger batteries and those kind of things. So we're planning for it, but it's definitely kind of a new and fun challenge for us.
Yeah, I definitely see that as a fun challenge because the other side of this is we'll be in a cleaner environment, a more sustainable model. to meet the transportation needs of small business owners today. And Zach, from your perspective, you are in the electric vehicle industry. What have been some of the challenges you faced?
Yeah, Jason, you nailed it. Like all the different aspects that you said, I really appreciate that angle of it. And I would say, this is kind of maybe ignorant from a business to say that sells electric vehicles, but it's growing too quick. We're going very quick. And that incorporates, just as he said, we're pumping out a lot of electric vehicles, or we have the capacity at this point, but we can't build power stations or solar arrays or wind farms that utilize those electrons as quickly as we're building vehicles. So that is a concern of how we manage that, because I think that will come with a price. Tesla certainly gave the auto industry a run for its money, and everybody now is trying to keep pace with that, if not increase. And so I think that's something that certainly needs to be considered. That's one of my concerns about that. Another huge challenge for the EV industry is how do we create sustainable waste? Being the subject matter of this conversation is sustainability. And when I say waste, everything comes with a price, but obviously vehicles, you have your battery, you have your hydrogen operating vehicles and other technologies that are coming about, but where do the batteries go once their usable life has expired? And who's coming up with solutions for that on a sustainability aspect? Because unlike a combustible engine where, you can continue to replace parts or replace pistons, whatever it may be, a battery does need to be replaced. And so that's something I think about as well, which also creates all new business opportunities.
I was just going to say, yep. Yep.
For a sustainable life cycle. Yes. And so I'll be curious to see, as we move forward, just like microchips and things like that, semiconductors, they get smaller, better, faster. Batteries will continue in that trajectory. Their power density will get better. But for right now, some of them can be clumpy and they're larger, but they're a waste potentially. So how do we recycle those and bring those back into the life cycle for sustainability? So I think those are challenges that everybody considers and knows, but who's really embracing that and making that a potential business opportunity for the betterment. So those are aspects I look at.
Yeah. And that's a great segue into the benefits of the electric vehicle industry. You just mentioned, Zach, that there are going to be opportunities to handle all these other areas that are that are already present. But let's start with Jason. What are some of the benefits that small business owners need to start considering? I know we've talked about cost reduction and saving money and the natural environment, but specifically, is there any other things that we could add to this conversation in terms of benefits for small business owners?
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, Zach hit on it, you hit on it, it's the economics, it's the fuel savings. You're saving anywhere from 5 to 10x the cost. There's also fuel stability. I think now more than ever is an issue that folks are really grappling with. The price of electricity doesn't change that frequently. It doesn't change that much. The price of gasoline can double in less than a year. That stability is a really important issue to small business owners. You're also looking at, I think, greater abilities for these especially with work trucks and work vans as well. You think of things like having not just a bunch of outlets, but 240-volt outlets to allow business customers to have the job site where they have power for their circular saw, whatever it is. It's also the layouts of these vehicles. You can do so much more with them without having that big engine block up front. You have more storage in the front there. You don't have that big drive shaft coming down the middle. You have a lot more room to customize these vehicles, which I think is important. And honestly, the biggest one is that we're seeing a lot of commercial customers using electric chargers and electric vehicles as a business development tool. Commercial customers are seeing that if they put out EV infrastructure in front of their building, that it's going to bring customers in. This is why Walmart's has partnered with Electrify America to put in charging stations at their stores, because it brings customers in who want to charge. And it also increases dwell time because it takes a bit longer to charge these vehicles. Customers are spending more time at those stores. So that's an important one as well. And it's also the issue of customers shopping their values. We see that time and time again. If you're, have that EV charger out front, if you have an electrified fleet, if you're, purchasing green currents, what have you, customers are going to want to patronize and shop at, those places that align with their values. So real business development opportunity here as well.
100%. That's definitely been a thought that I've had. How long does it take to charge an electric vehicle? What is that dwell time?
Well,
Wow.
like any good person, I'll say it depends.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a broad question there. Too many variables for that one.
But let's say we're talking about just a standard vehicle that's on the road now, like a Tesla. Like, how long does that vehicle take to charge? That period of time could be spent shopping at the business that is providing that charging station. That's an
Absolutely.
opportunity there. Yeah.
Whether it's a level 2 or DC fast charger, and what your state charges obviously makes a huge difference, but you're looking at anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 to 4 hours, kind of depending on all those factors. And so you can see a lot of use cases where if you're going into your CVS for 15 minutes, great. If you're going to watch a movie for 2.5 hours, great. If you're going to dinner for an hour and a half, great. There's a lot of different use cases where I think small business owners can really benefit from this.
Well, to write off those coattails too, I see as a business owner, and I haven't seen it yet, but I think a great idea would be incentivize, put your charging stations at your facility, whatever business you may own, and incentivize people with, say, a coupon, for example. Charge your vehicle here and get, a $5 coupon, $10 coupon, whatever it may be. But that's going to incentivize somebody to go to that location, spend their time, spend their money. If I'm a business owner, that's a win-win all the way around.
That's it. And, Zach, bringing the question to you, what are some of the benefits? I know you said that your recreational vehicles are also used in commercial spaces. Business owners also use them because they're quieter, they're easier to work with. What are some of the benefits that you see?
Yeah, well, there's huge benefits. So just when my vehicles are utilized, like let's say for construction sites or universities on campuses, they can go inside and outside. You obviously don't have any emissions. So utilized in, civic auditoriums or wherever. Every day, it seems like there's another distribution center that's being built in Phoenix or the surrounding areas and they're ideal for circumstances like that. So just being able for transportation where you don't have to worry about, emissions in the environment, they're ideal for something like that. But a huge benefit in addition to all the other ones we spoke about is obviously cost cutting opportunities, your fuel savings, but just being able to utilize a lot of places now are putting their own solar array on their facilities. If they're large enough, you can create your own energy or use APS aspect of it. So, cost savings is big, but one of the big ones, like I just mentioned, though, if you're a large enough company and you put a couple, let's say, subsidized charging stations on site and you have a retail outlet, you can drive customers. But not beyond that, just cost savings and that, it's the visibility that people are seeing too. They want to see organizations that are, among the population of sustainability. They want to see progressive attitudes. And I think that's just a good green perspective.
Yeah, it's that corporate social responsibility that you're expressing through your decisions of going, greener with solutions like this. We were talking about some of the commercial fleets and electrified or alternative fuel fleets. Are they stronger mechanically than combustible fleets?
Well, that's another interesting question, I would say. Torque-wise, electric wins. Absolutely.
Yeah. Torque-wise. Yeah.
Yeah. So contingent on the utilization of the machine. Yes. I'll answer that high level. Yes.
Okay. I was just curious because, Ford was putting out a lot of advertising about their F-150 electric truck that can haul 1 million pounds, and things like that. And so for construction companies, landscapers, who carry a lot of large equipment, these vehicles could be a solution since if their torque and mechanics are better than combustible engines.
Yeah, absolutely. But oftentimes, unless you're using, like, let's say a front end loader or something on a construction site, it's not necessarily the torque power load capability. Who's pulling 1 million pounds with a truck? That's a capability. You're not me. Yeah, it's not. Maybe it's fun to pull barges, but that's probably not the most practical aspect.
Right.
But yeah, just the overall usability and stuff, they make a lot of sense for applications that you're referring to. You betcha. Yeah. Better applications actually than your combustible side of it. More versatile.
Yeah. Well, this is a wonderful conversation. We're going to close out with this last question. Why is Arizona a great place for EV adoption, electrical vehicle adoption? And Jason, I know you probably have this conversation all day long. What is your response to a question like this?
First and foremost, I'd argue that anywhere is a great place for EV adoption, but specifically Arizona. Environmental is a big piece of this. We all live kind of in the middle of a desert. And so issues of extreme heat, drought, climate, these are things that, EVs would definitely help solve those challenges. There's also the local air pollutant issue. EVs have no tailpipe emissions, and that really transitions into the economic piece as well. We have ozone non-attainment issues here in the state of Arizona, and those can really, cinch down on economic development opportunities. And we want to keep that growing. We want to keep this, great economic development boom that we're seeing in Phoenix going. And so this is a great way to help that. The other thing about Arizona specifically is you drive a lot here. I moved here less than a year ago from back east. I was in DC, and if I drove 50 miles in DC, I went through 3 states. If I drive 50 miles here, I'm still in, greater Phoenix metro area.
That's right.
And all that to say is it just, it compounds those benefits. The more you drive, the more fuel savings you have. The more you drive, the, more GHG emissions savings you have. Right. So, those are, big components of why it's, really great place for EV adoption here in Arizona.
Yeah. And Zach, what's your perspective as a small business owner here in Arizona? Why is Arizona a great place for electric vehicles?
Well, there's 2 notes. Touching on the smog real briefly on that. That is a huge consideration, especially living in the heat island that we do, particularly during the summer, where it accumulates heavily downtown. So if there's an opportunity just to alleviate a little bit of that percentage, no different than we try to do with light pollution, I think that's a huge perspective to be had. But Arizona is a progressively conservative state, I like to say, with all the right framework, for sustainability, to build an EV ecosystem. We really are. We have the space, we have the economy, we have the right citizens and business owners to embrace the adoption. We really do. Some people step back and they don't necessarily see the current value of EVs, but oftentimes they really do when they figure in all the different considerations and perspective wise, rather than just naiveness. And so I think Arizona's in a prime spot. We're really lining ourselves up with all the EV companies and semiconductor organizations that are here locally. We're in an ideal spot. So it's exciting to see right now.
Yeah. And I think it's also, it's starting to make sense, that we have to take care of our environment, and, the combustion that comes out of our vehicles is not good for the environment. And, people are getting the sticker shock from the gas pump in today's environment, and that's having a consideration. And as prices of electric vehicles start to come down to a more affordable range, it's definitely, a recipes for success. Gentlemen, it's been such a pleasure having this conversation with you. Are there any final remarks that you'd like to add? And I'll start with Jason.
I'll just say APS is here to help. We want all of our customers to be able to take advantage of all of these benefits of electric vehicles. We have a goal as a company of 450,000 light-duty EVs in our service territory by 2030, and that's because we see all these benefits and want our customers to be able to take advantage of those. So we're actively developing programs and tools to help our both residential and our commercial customers be able to take full advantage of these, and we just really look forward to engaging more with those customers and helping them along that journey.
Thank you, Jason. It's great to have you on the program. And Zach, any final remarks?
I would say, Jason, we'd like to help you out, first of all, with the 450.
Welcome to help.
Yeah, thank you. Which is at Southwest Electric Vehicles, or being a small business owner in general, I think we're in an exciting spot right now. We've been in it for the last couple of years, but Phoenix and in our general population, everything, we're really embracing EV opportunities from different angles, economically wise, sustainability, but those synergies together, I think, are really going to take us to the next stage and where we need to be as a society. So we're in exciting times, but yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the time.
Awesome. And thank you, gentlemen, for joining the Going Green and Going Smart expert session. All right. Special thanks to our expert panel for this great discussion. We hope to have you back again soon. I hope you were taking notes at home or work. If not, don't worry. You can find this segment recorded on our website at greenbizaz.com. And while you are there, make sure to stay tuned for our next expert session calendar for this year. Okay, now let's switch gears and learn more about the Take Charge AZ program at APS. Let's watch a short video from our friends at APS.
We know our customers are interested in electric vehicles, but they're worried about access to charging stations. With the Take Charge AZ program, we're able to partner with local businesses to bring charging stations to their fleets, workplace, and multifamily housing, such as apartment complexes or condos.
This is a great program because we make it as easy as possible for our customers. Any business, government agency, nonprofit, or multifamily community that receives energy from APS is welcome to apply at aps.com/takechargeaz.
I'm really excited about APS customers adopting electric vehicles. They're saving a lot of money on fuel costs, about 66 cents an e-gallon when you're powering your drive with electricity. They're reducing greenhouse gas emissions by about 65%, and they can ride in the carpool lane if they have a 100% battery electric vehicle.
Electric vehicles lend a hand in helping bring cleaner energy and cleaner air for our state, and Take Charge AZ is helping make electric charging more convenient for customers in Arizona, a great place to drive electric.
The APS Take Charge AZ program will expand access to electric vehicle charging throughout Arizona. This pilot program provides electric vehicle chargers to non-residential customers for free. It will last 5 years, and during which time APS will gather important data on charging habits and the charging experience. This information will help APS design products and services that meet the long-term needs of electric vehicle owners and drivers. If you are an APS non-residential customer who currently does not have any electric vehicle charging equipment on site for employees or fleet vehicles, as well as multifamily communities, you may apply at aps.com/takechargeaz. Take advantage of this great program to take your Going Green efforts to the next level. Please visit aps.com/takechargeaz for more information. I hope you enjoyed our program today. We are excited and honored to play a role in helping our small business community go greener and cleaner for a brighter future in Arizona. If you want to take what you learn here to the next level, I invite you to check out our website, greenbizaz.com, to learn how you can earn your Going Green and Going Smart certificate. Our certificate course can be completed in less than 60 minutes, and you can learn at your own pace. These expert sessions complement perfectly what you can learn by earning your Going Green and Going Smart certificate. You will learn how to build a sustainability plan, conduct your own energy audit, create a green marketing plan to help you attract business, and connect with fellow small business owners in our online community. This program is designed to help you find ways to implement affordable strategies for energy efficiency, discover smart energy devices, conserve water, reduce your waste, and connect to a community of resources. Start your transformation with us and earn your Going Green and Going Smart certificate at no cost to you by visiting greenbizaz.com. While you are there, make sure to check out our awesome rebate programs brought to you by the APS Solutions for Business team. These rebates will help you pay for your Going Green investment, and the team is very happy to help. Help us spread the word with your business colleagues by sharing our website and follow the conversation using the hashtag GreenBizAZ. Thank you once again for watching our Going Green and Going Smart expert session on how electric vehicles will revolutionize the transportation needs of small businesses in Arizona. We hope you found the program valuable and look forward to hanging out with you on the next session. I'll see you next time.